If you want to become a digital nomad, but you feel a bit nervous about going alone and you feel like you want to go with someone, I'm here to tell you to not wait for that someone, to wait for that friend or partner to go with you. Because going alone on nomad trips can be even better than going with a friend. Because I have tried both, and I can tell you that you will grow so much more and have completely different experiences when you go out there and try the nomad life by yourself. This is Being Alive podcast. Welcome to this episode. My name is Ebba and I am your host. And I have been doing the digital nomad life for about 3 years now, on and off. And I've been going both alone. I've been going alone on trips. I've been going with friends from back home. And I've also been going with nomad friends. And the experiences are completely different. So when I decided to go on my very first digital nomad trip, I had decided to go alone and I was really excited to go alone, to be honest. I was definitely scared. I had been postponing it and I had some fears about what it was going to be like, but I was still feeling pretty okay about it. And I told my friends and family, like, oh, I'm going to Bali. I'm going to go do the whole nomad thing for a while. And I told everyone to come visit me, come hang out with me for a bit. And one of my best friends actually decided to quit her job and go with me for the 3 months I was planning to go away for. And I was, of course, so excited that she decided to join me. And I was like, this is amazing. We're going to have an amazing time. It's going to be easier to meet people, more socializing. It's going to be great. But the thing is that I was actually completely wrong. I thought that because I had someone with me, I would be able to put myself out there more. I thought that because I had my friend who was such a safe person for me, it would be easier for me to try new things and do new things and meet more people. But it turned out to be the exact opposite. Because the thing is that when you go with someone on a trip, it's so much easier to just stay with that person. After this trip, I have gone on solo trips instead, and I have gone ahead and done multiple nomad trips where I have gone to places and not really known anyone. And the experience has been completely different than the trip I did when I was doing a nomad trip with my friend. And the reason is because when you go alone and you don't have that safe person with you, you have to put yourself out there more. And to put yourself out there can be a bit scary, but it is such a big opportunity for growth. Because when you go alone and you don't have anyone from back home with you, you have a whole new opportunity to have a clean slate. And that doesn't mean that you should change who you are or be someone else. But I do believe that when we are with someone, we take a certain role in our relationships and all relationships we have, whether that is with friends or family, whatever it may be. But when you're new to a place and with new people, you can just go there and you have a completely new slate, blank page, and start completely over, which is extremely liberating. But besides having a clean slate and besides being a completely blank page when you come to a new location and you don't know anyone, it is also a lot easier to, or it has been for me at least, and from the friends I've talked to, you push yourself more to go to different events and you put yourself out there a lot more to meet new people. And there are so many different places you can go to meet people. There are going to be events, there are going to be co-working spaces or coffee meetups or whatever it may be where you can meet new people. And here's the thing, of course you can go to these meetups with a friend or a partner, but in my experience, I never really did that with not my friends that I traveled with or nomad friends, but I have more gone to these events by myself. And going to these events by yourself is actually better than when I've actually gone with friends. And you meet more people when you go to events alone. Because I really thought it was the opposite. I thought it's easier to go to events with friends. But when you go with friends, you're going to get stuck with your friend. But when you go alone, you're going to have to put yourself out there. You're going to have to do the awkward thing and go up to someone and say hello. Or you're going to stand there alone and someone will come up and talk to you because people honestly are more eager to come up and talk to someone who's standing alone than to a big group of people. Because the thing is, all nomads have been new nomads. Everyone has been there where they're like, I don't know anyone, I don't know what I'm doing, what is going on basically. And nomads are very friendly. Nomads know what it's like. They're gonna be welcoming. You're not gonna walk up to someone and they're gonna be rude to you if you go up to them in an event. You're gonna meet new people. But it's so much easier to put yourself out there and do it when you are alone in my experience. And the thing is, what I find important here is that to meet new people, and if you want to travel alone, if you're doing it, especially for the first time, you're not really used to doing the nomad life, you're not used to being alone or moving to a place alone, one core thing I would say is to go to places that are nomad friendly. Because when I went on my first solo nomad trip that actually turned out to be a solo nomad trip, I did not consider the nomad aspect of the location. I looked it up a little bit, but I was like, oh, there's one co-working space here. It should be fine. But I essentially spent the whole month I was in this place alone because there were not really nomads there and there was no socializing. There were no events, nothing for me to do, which made it very lonely. And I'm really happy I had that experience and I met a few people along the way that I could talk to, but in a month I met two people. So it really taught me to go to places where there is a nomad community. Because in the places with nomad communities, there are going to be events, there are going to be more co-working spaces. People are going to be more open-minded. You're going to know that you're going to meet people who are going to stay there for a while. But if you go to a place with no nomads, maybe it's a touristy place or it's a very local place, it's going to be harder to meet people. So if you want to actually not just go somewhere and work, but also actually get into the nomad community, going to a place that has that and actually research that is so important. Because when you do that, it's gonna be so much easier for you to find friends and make new connections. So when I have gone to places where there is a nomad community like Chiang Mai in Thailand or Da Nang, Vietnam, or Lisbon in Portugal, I have actually found so many friends. And the thing is, once you get one friend, they will introduce you to more people. Same thing when you go to one event and you will automatically start speaking to more people because they will know someone who will know someone and it will just be a snowball effect. And I think that is the part you need to know, that you don't have to meet 100 people. Sometimes it's enough to just meet one person and you will automatically be pulled into the nomad community. And what is also so amazing is that once you get to learn one person, you make friends in one city, then that will also, a lot of the time, that will help you make friends in another city because people will connect you with someone, or you will go to a city and already know someone there. Right now, when I'm traveling around, I'm going to places where I know people are already going. I know that when I leave Chiang Mai in a few months, I'm gonna go to Da Nang where there are gonna be unfriends. And I know that I have now created a nomad community with people around me. And I had no idea this would happen. When I started doing this life, I thought that I am traveling solo and I will do this thing. And I thought I would have to essentially find a partner to not feel alone. But I have found so many amazing people and friends along the way that now I don't feel like I'm doing nomad life alone because I have so many friends. But the thing is also that now I can relate back to where maybe you are right now of feeling, oh, I don't want to go to a place where I don't know anyone because I've honestly gotten so comfortable with being with my friends that going to a new place and meeting new people feels a bit overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. It can still feel that way, and you just have to keep on doing it and keep on putting yourself out there to get more comfortable. And the more you go to events, the more you go to meetups, the easier it's going to be to make new connections. A question that I get asked a lot as a nomad is also like, oh, don't you get lonely? But I am actually less lonely now as a nomad than I am back home when I am home in Sweden during summer because the social aspect of life here is so much easier. Back home, it takes weeks for me to make a plan with a friend, whereas here we hang out every single day. And people are so much more open-minded to meeting new people. You won't feel alone in the same way. You will feel so much more welcome in kind of in the community. Because back home, I don't feel like there's a community in the same way as it is here in the nomad life. And I really wish I knew that when I started, because for me, nomad life was all about I want to travel and see the world and work at places that are cool in cute cafes or beaches or whatever. But how much the community aspect has completely changed my view of nomad life was something that I did not expect. I did not expect that to be such a core part of my experience, but it really has been. And That is one of the biggest reasons I'm staying in the nomad life now. And that was completely unexpected. So if you are scared of going alone as a nomad, I want you to know that should be the least of your concerns. It should be the least of your concerns that you're not going to meet people. You are going to meet people. But it can take time to actually find people that you connect with and not people that you're just having an awkward small talk conversation with, and find people that have the same interests, etc. But the thing is, you will get there, and you just have to have the guts to reach out to those people who you think are cool. And that is also such a thing that is so different here, that you meet a person once and you will exchange your contact info right away. You will start following each other on socials or connect on WhatsApp or whatever it may be. And people just connect so much more quicker here. Because I have friends who are like friends in common with another friend who I met so many times and I would have no idea how to reach them. Whereas here, you would meet a person once and you will have their number or their Instagram handle, because you connect so much more easily here. And it's not a weird thing, it's just a part of the nomad culture. And reaching out to someone and then being, hey, it was lovely meeting you. You want to grab a cup of coffee? Not a weird thing here. Grabbing lunch with someone or just saying to someone, hi, I'm having dinner with some friends, come on over. That is very much the normal here. And it's so beautiful to see. And so beautiful to see how people are showing up for other nomads, being like, oh, I met this person at dinner who's a new nomad. I'm going to invite them for dinner. Because that's very much how people show up for each other. So being scared of going alone shouldn't be, because you're going to meet amazing people. Because I know my friends have, and now it's just a big family. I feel so much more connected to people around me here than I ever thought I would. And it's a very different kind of friendships you have here compared to back home, which is both good and bad, because you talk about very different things. You have different interests, different backgrounds, etc. But you also, everyone you have something in common with. And that is the beauty of it, that everyone you meet, you always know that you have a common touch point. You always have the nomad life in common. You usually have some sort of business in common. You can always find something to talk about. Whereas back home, people are living such different lives and it can be harder to find your people. Whereas here, you know that you already have something in common just by being at the same event or even being in the same city sometimes, honestly. And people just have a lot more like the same view of life, which is so liberating and feels so much more free than for me it can do back home, because I know that we view the world in one way, a very similar way, but also very different, because we all come from different cities, countries, and backgrounds, which is really interesting and so fascinating. I was at a gathering at a friend's house a few weeks ago, and I think we realized we were almost 10 different nationalities in the same house at the same time, which is so incredible. And you will meet people from all over the world that you would never ever meet if it wasn't for nomad life, which is so cool. And you will actually very likely meet even more people and have such a different experience when you go alone, because you will not only meet more people, but you will also practice more being alone. You'll practice more being with yourself, taking risks, putting yourself out there, learning, becoming your own best friend, and so many more things that I don't see that I would have done if I would have traveled with someone. And today, I kind of do travel with people because now I have friends who I go to new places with. But they are my nomad friends and we have created a new life together. So you will find a new community and a new sense of family or friends, kind of, when you actually have the guts to go alone and put yourself out there and meet all these new amazing people. So just make sure that the place you go to have a good nomad community. And if you have any questions on where to go and if you want any tips, just reach out to me and we can chat about it. So I really hope this helped you have the guts to book that ticket and go on your first solo nomad trip. Hope you have enjoyed this episode and I will see you next time.